Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video approach to use and to make money with. So we have a strategy that is available for us and we can use it, and this is for individuals that want to take time to trade and like be in the market for just short period of time, then you just come up like that. So for those people that have got premiums every now and then, you can testify that it's kind of frustrating when you want to trade and you've got a continuous occurrence where you've got spikes that just coming up like that, and hence they will end up blowing your account. So what is important is for people that want to be using this strategy, they need to realize that with this strategy you basically have to be a little bit patient, and it is a strategy that if you've got at least $50 in your account, you can quite alright, you can just come up with something. $50 in account, you can get any directions as long as the conditions of the market are quite ripe. You can trade spikes here, you can trade also trends here, depending on what on the conditions of the market. So you have dual strategy. This gives you an opportunity to trade spikes. This gives you an opportunity to trade directions, trend in a particular direction rather of the market. So it is very much important that we look at the setup for this particular strategy so that we can get moving and get kicking. So we're going to set Ichimoku on default. So you have the perimeters, the Tenkan-sen, the Kijun-sen, and then you've got the Senkun span base. So we want to borrow only two indicators from the Ichimoku because the Ichimoku has got a lot of things that components. So what we do is we blur them out. Whatever we don't want to use, we blur them out by reason of color. So we want to use the Senkun span rather than concern with the period number 9. Then we also want to use the Kijun-sen with number 9. So even on the styles, the colors should be blue, then even Kijun-sen should be blue, right? Then the up Kumo, we need to put it in white, the down Kumo white, the Chikou span also should be white. Right, sorry for that. So we press done. Okay, so after we press done, then we go to set up the two other indicators. We've got the relative strength index. Where are you? There. So we have the period should be 54. Apply to close, 3 pixel, color blue, done. Then you go to relative strength index. So you can find the relative strength index and rather the relative vigor index and also the relative strength index and oscillators. Then for this one you have the period 20, the colors should be green and red, which are default colors. Then the pixel should be increased to 3 by you press here, come to 3. Then also for this one 3. So right, so for the other thing that the levels, you need to have 30 acting as the oversold, and then 70 acting as the overbought. Then the pixel should be 3, the color you change it to black so that it is clearly visible on indicator window number 1. You press done, so that when you come to indicator window number 1, you can have the overbought rightly visible, and so should be the oversold zone. So those are the zones that are going to help out a lot of us when it comes to identifying the entry condition, whether you are buying spikes or not. It will act as an entry position, right? So what is very much important for us is, let us now try to look at the entry conditions. So just a brief explanation on the overbought and the oversold zone and the indicators. So we have the relative strength index and we have got the relative vigor index. So the vigor index is the one that has two moving averages and they are crossing each other, but we are not looking at the two crossings when the red crosses the green one, or when the green one crosses the red. We are looking at having two relative indices rather, um, crossing themselves. So when they cross themselves, then it signals to us to say this is an entry condition, whether you want to buy into trend or buy into spikes. So you have the oversold zone, here, which is below 30, and you have the overbought zone, which is above 30. So what you are going to experience is that over the the relative strength index, the relative strength index does not go to the oversold or the oversold or the overbought zone. No matter what happens, the relative strength index in blue on indicator window number 1 does not go to the oversold or the overbought zone. That is the duty and the obligation of the two moving averages, which is in green and red, the relative vigor index rather. So when the relative vigor index is coming from the oversold or the overbought zone, it is a signal for us to buy or to sell, depending on where it's coming from. When it's coming from the overbought zone, it makes a curve in the overbought zone, then begins to go down. It is a sign that we need to sell until it reaches the level 30, which is happens level 30 in this particular case, which will be our exit point, right? It will be an exit point, or you can go all the way until you see the two relative vigor index cross each other. That's when you exit the market. So you can decide to come out from this position. You have a crossover in the overbought zone, right? It crosses over, then begins to come. You wait until there is a second crossover when the blue cuts the two relative vigor index, then you enter the market. So you are going to trade until you reach here. At this particular point, you can decide to come out or you hold, right? You can decide to come out or you hold until you see a crossing again, the third crossing, which happens to be the third condition, which is the last condition for you to come out of the market, right? This condition, the crossover in the overbought zone, is a confirmation that the market will begin to go down. So when the market begins to go down, you wait for the second crossover. So when you see the second crossover, you know that it is your entry. Then when you see the market hitting level 30, then that is when you log out, right? Or you hold until you see another crossover in the oversold zone. Then you have basically logged out and you continue to observe the market, right? As you can see, you are seeing it from I'm observing it from my time frame, right? Look at my time frame. So again, here you have the market coming from the crossover over here, somewhere here. First crossover, second crossover, you enter, here you decide whether to enter or not. Then you have another one, official logout, right? Those that are willing to hold, those that are willing to hold. So you have the market coming from there, another crossover, you enter until you see another, you reach 30, you decide whether to come out or not. Then you see a crossover there in the oversold zone, then you come out, right? You come out. So let us now try to look at a scenario where this is boom 500, and you're dealing with a big time frame, like 4-hour time frame, right? So you see a crossover in the overs. This is now the oversold zone. This is now the oversold zone. You see the crossover. You see the Ichum, the relative strength index crossing the relative vigor index. You enter. It reaches here. You decide whether to come out or not. Then you see a crossover. For those that will continue to hold, they come out. So this is quite easy, quite easy for us to use and for every one of us to enjoy, right? So this is for a number of us that are ready, just very much ready to wait, because this is 4-hour time frame, right? This is 4-hour time frame. It is not a time frame for people that just want quick money. This is more like price action. People that trade price action will be very much appreciative of this strategy, because you'll be able to observe the candlesticks that signify a rejection, right? So this is even 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, you can also utilize this one. You see, you have a crossover in this zone, the overbought. There's that crossing, then it comes down to the oversold zone. So very simple to trade. Then in this particular instance, again, you have the crossover, you have the crossing, then there, off you go. Off it goes to the overbought zone, right? Until it crosses over from here. Then from there you begin to observe. So 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, this is where the money is. So for those people that want to trade in the direction of the spikes, where the spikes will be occurring, big money for you. So this is Hanshel logging out.